Am I the asshole for asking my son and daughter-in-law for a copy of the key to the new house they bought? 2 weeks ago my son, Ethan, 27, and his wife, Jess, 30, bought a small one-story house in the town we live in. After settling down they invited us for a small party for the occasion. We sat for dinner and talked about the house a bit. Me, my husband and Jess continued conversing after Ethan excused himself to take an important call. Jess showed me the original key to the house and I asked if she made copies yet and she said no. I said she should and also give one copy to me as well. She looked at me funny and asked why she should. I explained that it is necessary so that it could be used in emergencies. She rudely said, "I don't know what kind of an emergency that would require you having a key to our house, sure won't be a fire incident." She obviously didn't seem to have any idea that a fire incident wasn't what I meant and I got offended by her sarcasm. I pointed out that it's not just her decision because this is my son's house as well. She smiled at me trying to be polite and stated that only the ones who contributed towards the house get a copy and that I really don't need one anyway. Also assured me that my son will have the same answer for me. Basically saying, "Don't bother bring this up with Ethan, he'll tell you the same thing," but I did and she spoke on his behalf the entire argument repeating what she said over and over. Things escalated to her calling me pushy and me telling her she was being unnecessarily rude and disrespectful. My husband and I left in a rush and I felt horrible. My husband went on and on about how paranoid and controlling I was to basically be demanding a copy of the key to the new house, but again I stated that I was just trying to be helpful and taking extra precautions since anything could happen, but he insisted I overstepped and ruined Ethan's and Jess's joy for their new house as well as dinner. I genuinely do not think what I said was out of line and I'm not sure why Jess reacted so intensely. I think my request was innocent. My husband went on and on about how paranoid and controlling I was to basically be demanding a copy of the key to the new house. He's right. You are the asshole. You sound like one of those overbearing mills on Just No Mill. You had a point about someone having a key, but that someone didn't have to be you. And you should have talked to them together, you should have dropped it once she said no. But instead you pulled the "it's my son's house too" card and made a power play for your son and which woman he'd listen to. Which is weird and unnecessary. Then you got offended and had to make a scene. Your son is married and has a new priority now. Leave her alone. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. It's their house and their choice who gets keys. When she said no the first time, you should have dropped it. Your husband and Jess are right. You're being pushy and controlling and that behavior ruined the dinner. You are the asshole. You don't ask for a copy of a key to someone's house. Even if it is your son's. If they offer, fine. But no. You don't ask. It is rude. And overbearing. You are the asshole. You don't get to demand a key to someone else's house, and trying to override a wife's wishes in her own home by acting as if you have rights in your son's home is going to put you on a fast track to never being invited. Her reacting as intensely as you describe suggests that you have a problem with overstepping generally. Take a hard look at your own behavior. You are the asshole. You are not entitled to a key and your Dylan husband are right. There's a difference if you asked if they needed someone to house an extra key but you didn't. I get the feeling you're the kind of mill that might let herself in randomly to check. There are no emergencies without prior permission. Yeah, you are the asshole. It's a good idea to suggest they make copies and give them to someone close for safekeeping. It's even not too bad to suggest yourself as a possible candidate. But instead, it sounds like you just told her what she should do. Then when she disagreed you pushed and pushed. And then you brought it up again with your son in the hopes of arguing it further. It's their house, their key. You pushed things too far. Sorry, your intentions were good but you are the asshole. You should have waited until it was offered and definitely not pushed back during the celebratory dinner. If there has been a chance of their coming round to your point of view it's likely gone now. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend she can't stay at my house with my husband when I'm out of town? Update. I spoke with Stacy after work tonight and it was tough. She saw this thread and was upset that I brought it to Reddit and allowed strangers to judge her. She also acknowledged that what she does is wrong and said she is working on it, hasn't been with anyone in a while, and she has issues no one understands. She said that more than anything, she's hurt because I really thought she'd sleep with my husband despite not trying to do so in the over 15 years we've all known each other. I brought up things she's done in the past that has added to my discomfort and she insisted that it was innocent and she never meant anything by it. She said she's going to leave permanently because she doesn't feel welcome knowing she isn't trusted and she doesn't want to stay where she's not wanted. She went silent for what seemed like forever, then said, "I think you did the right thing. If the situation was reversed, I would ask you to leave, too." Then says again that she has issues and she's not sure why she does it. She started to cry and I told her that whatever she's going through can be worked on and she can talk to someone who can help her sort out her feelings and give her some insight, and she said she would work on herself. We hugged it out and I told her I'll be here for her while she works through it all. 36 female, live with my husband and child. My best friend, Stacy, 37 female, has been staying with us the last few weeks while her home undergoes renovation. I met my best friend in college and we are pretty opposite when it comes to a lot of things. She's far more carefree, particularly with men. She loves dating committed men. Wives, fiancés, or girlfriend, she doesn't care and will pursue for the thrill. There have been a couple occasions where she's been confronted publicly by spouses and she just laughs it off after the fact. Although she can be a bit flirtatious, she's never actually done anything totally out of line with my husband, but she has with the boyfriend of a mutual friend. Now the issue. I am going to Las Vegas in a couple days and I'll be gone for 5 days. I told her that I would prefer if she stayed elsewhere while I am gone. She asked why and I told her it is because of her history of going after men in relationships and I wasn't comfortable with her there while I'm gone for so long. She got really defensive, hurt and started to cry. She insisted that she values our friendship and would never violate that, but I held firm and said that this is just one of those things where I'd rather be safe than sorry. She'll be staying at another friend's house. I feel bad, but I also don't think I'm going to change my mind. My husband doesn't care either way and said she should understand why I feel that way, but my sister and a couple of our mutual friends said that I should trust her, and even if I don't, I should trust my husband. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. But why are you friends with someone who you believe will sleep with your husband? She openly pursues committed men. She has dated a friend's boyfriend in the past. She has flirted with your husband. What on earth has your friend done, specifically, to earn the trust everyone is saying you're required to give her? And while you may trust your husband, why on earth would you put him in this situation? Not the asshole. You are the asshole for being friends with her at all. You're cool with her fucking other people's husbands but not yours? Not the asshole. But why are you even letting her stay in your house if you think she's going to make a pass at your husband? You don't have to be out of town for 5 days for her to have the opportunity to do something inappropriate. Not the asshole. She enjoys sleeping with committed men but wants you to believe she has high enough morals not go after your man? I know cheaters tend to be deluded, but their side chicks are just as bad. You are the asshole, but why be friends with someone who gets a thrill out of pursuing men in relationships? ETA to change judgment. You are the asshole for condoning her behavior by continuing a friendship with her. Not only does she destroy other people's relationships for fun, she sat on your husband's lap and tried to wipe his face. It doesn't matter if you trust your husband, you're essentially subjecting him to sexual harassment. That's what everyone would call it if one of his male friends did that to you. I'm going with you are the asshole simply because, if you don't trust her, you shouldn't be friends with her. And she absolutely should not be staying in your home. You are the company you keep. Not the asshole. You and your husband are in agreement on this. You've been quite generous in letting her stay with you, but she's already shown her colors, and they aren't pretty. Going after men in relationships without remorse isn't carefree, it's self-centered and a flying red flag that she can't be trusted. Your husband probably doesn't want to have to deal with what she might do if they are alone together or what she might say if he rejects her advances. Am I the asshole for choosing my son over my stepdaughter? I, F32, have been married to Mark, M36, for 6 years. Mark had a child, Sarah, F12, with Allie, ex-girlfriend, who is starting high school next year, meaning she needs a computer for school. We also have a child together, Alex, M5, and #X200B. The issue arose last week when my husband asked me to contribute 1/3 of the cost for Sarah's computer, saying it could be a Christmas present from all of us. Sarah wants a MacBook and they decided on the latest MacBook Pro, over $2,000 after AppleCare, accessories etc., with my share totaling at least $700. I make significantly less than my husband and before this year, we would stick to a budget and half the costs together. This year the budget I scheduled was $200 per kid. I typically handle all Christmas shopping but run everything past Mark. I told Mark that was double what we spend each Christmas, and I wasn't aware until now that I was expected to chip in the costs. I said if I'd had time to save I might have, but on short notice it wasn't possible, and suggested we look at cheaper options, which was quickly shot down. I told him that I could contribute $200 from my savings but no more, as we still had the buy presents for Alex and #X200B. This wasn't received well by Sarah, Allie, or Mark, and they said I was selfish for not helping out. And Sarah was devastated, as she took this as me favoring Alex over her and not wanting her. Their suggestion was that I don't spend much money on Alex and give the money to Sarah instead, but I refused, since I didn't consider that fair to Alex and didn't want him upset that he didn't get many presents for Christmas. This has had a severe impact on my relationship with Sarah and Allie, and Mark thinks I should do this to prove my love for Sarah. Sarah has 3 people contributing to presents while Alex only has 2, so Sarah typically gets more presents anyway, but we always keep things fair anyway. Edit. Wrong age. Edit. After reading the comment I've decided to stick to my decision. I will offer the $200 but won't pay more than that, and suggest cheaper options once again. I definitely agree that Sarah doesn't need that expensive of a laptop, but will suggest the MacBook Air. Any further comments would be much appreciated. Update. Showed my husband this thread and he agrees with me finally and apologized, and will be buying her a MacBook Air instead. While only a small concession, her school does prefer Mac. He has also agreed that I shouldn't be responsible for contributing to the costs, so I'm doing some last-minute shopping. Thank you for all the advice. Mark and Allie are the asshole for getting Sarah involved in an issue of finances. She's 12 years old, she does not need a 2K piece of equipment. Let them get it for her and see what happens when she breaks it. The fact that he equates sticking to a budget with not caring as much about Sarah is a huge red flag as well. Edit. Not the asshole. However, keep your eye on your husband and his ex playing their daughter against you. You will be taw if you play into their game at your son's expense. Not the asshole. Why does a 12-year-old need a MacBook Pro in the first place? I got through university with a laptop I got open box at Best Buy for $400. It sounds as though you tried reasonable compromises and suggestions, and it's pretty rude of them to have involved her in this conversation. Good luck entangling this mess, and I hope the adults can reach some kind of agreement without spoiling the joy of receiving gifts gracefully for your stepdaughter. Not the asshole. So you're choosing your son by contributing equally to presents for both? To prove your love for your stepdaughter, she needs to get a very expensive present while your son gets less than usual, or nothing. How is that remotely fair? Ask Mark if he's willing to contribute $1,400 to presents for Alex, to prove his love for his son and keep things fair? Ask him why he doesn't love his son as much as his daughter, given that he wants not only to spend vastly more on his daughter himself, but to take your gift budget for your son for his daughter as well. Not the asshole. Holy shit, your husband sounds awful. Imagine the consequences this will have for your son down the line when he doesn't get the $2,000 laptop Sarah did. I'm guessing your husband isn't going to want to pay for that, is he? There are just so many things wrong with what he's expecting and how he is communicating with you, and it's clear he's prioritizing his daughter over your son when you're trying to treat them both equally. And also, unless Sarah is some sort of coding prodigy, she really doesn't need a £2,000 Apple laptop. I have a bachelor's in neuroscience and am doing a master's involving programming, and my Microsoft laptop cost £900. She can definitely go for a cheaper laptop. Bro, no high schooler needs a MacBook Pro. A base spec Air is more than enough for them. It's $1,000. Not the asshole. Number 12-year-old needs a $2,000 laptop. That's just ridiculous. Not the asshole. This is nuts. Offering the same amount that you would give to Alex is fair. If they can't afford it, then Sarah will have to get something cheaper. She's in HS and doesn't need a Pro. It's not necessary. You need to sit down and have a serious talk with your husband. He seems to be favoring Sarah by asking you to give Alex's money away for her present. Any money decisions that he expects you to contribute should be discussed with you first instead of talking to his ex or his daughter. You are his wife. This is a serious red flag and his behavior is inappropriate. Don't let them bully you into spending more money. You don't need to prove anything to Sarah, your husband, or his ex. Not the asshole here. Take a very close look at your husband's behavior. He didn't ask you if this was something you were on board with. He didn't ask you with enough time to save for it. Did he tell Sarah and Allie that you were the problem? I thought that should have been kept in the background and the two of you would decide together an alternate route. There is some major disrespect going down and you two need to talk about it. Location flag, location flag, location flag. Am I the asshole for not allowing my kids to close the room door? We have a rule in our family whereby the kids, 15F and 13M, are not allowed to close the room doors. The kids spend most of the time in the common study room, whether reading, studying, gaming, etc. And their computer screens all face the door. My kids have told me they would like the room door to be closed and feel that their privacy is being violated and they cannot concentrate. However, my wife and I feel that this is a house rule and there should be no secrets between family members. We do not wish for them to spiral down a deep hole of secrets which might be too late when they realize they need help. Furthermore, when they grow up and work in an office, whatever they do on the computer screen will also be visible to their coworkers. My wife and I think this rule is quite fair, but the kids insist otherwise. So am I the asshole? So you keep your bedroom door open and computer screens visible to your kids too? And you don't keep any secrets from your kids? Edit. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. You are just teaching your kids to be better liars and taking away their privacy at an important developmental stage. There are other ways to teach computer safety. Are you showing them this post? Since you're so concerned about secrets and all. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. Your kids are not going to live in an office. Saying that their work computers will be visible to everyone in the future makes no sense. In their home, they should be allowed to have privacy and feel respected. You are the asshole. Your children are now teenagers and need privacy. What do you hope to accomplish by not allowing the door to be closed? Especially when they're just by themselves and no guests, boyfriends, girlfriends are over. Their room should be their safe space. Strict parents raise sneaky children. Also, should they work an office cubicle job, which is such a small select job to make an example of, they will most likely have privacy, and they will get privacy at home too. Also, the no secrets between family members is extremely toxic. People have secrets, kids are allowed to have secrets. What are you trying to prevent? Stop from forcing an open door on your children. My parents split when I was young. As a teen, my mom wanted to monitor and know everything under this no secrets BS. My dad, however, allowed me privacy. As a result, I grew up closer and more open with my dad and my relationship with my mom struggled. I say this as a warning that you and your wife are headed for the same relationship I had with my mom despite you actually seeming to want the relationship I had with my dad. If you force kids to tell you everything, they learn to hide stuff. You are the asshole. Please rethink your house rule. You are the asshole. 100% kids need downtime. Let them have their small slice of privacy so they can actually unwind and not feel like they're being monitored 24 hours a day, which does nothing but increase stress and agitation. You are the asshole. Strict parents raise sneaky children. While I understand your intentions, I think it may do more harm than good.